Welcome to the First Unitarian Society of Milwaukee's online worship service. I'm Reverend Jennifer Nordstrom, and I'm honored to serve as the First Unitarian Society of Milwaukee's senior minister. We welcome people of all genders, sexualities, ages, races, ethnicities, histories, and bodies. We welcome your mind, your heart, and your spirit. We welcome all you're bringing with you today and all your heart longs to set down. We'd like to pay a special welcome to guests who are joining us today. If you're visiting for the first time or joining us from afar, why don't you say hello in the chat now and tell us where you're joining us from? I welcome everyone into our worship service by inviting you to repeat our first church mission after me. We gather to nurture the spirit, engage the mind, and inspire action. Let's go now to our beloved sanctuary to light the chalice, which is the symbol of Unitarian Universalism.
Hello, my name is Susie Seidelman, and I'm delighted to be your worship associate today. It feels like so many things are vying for our attention. Whether it's things in my immediate world, like my beautiful family or the clients I work with, or things somewhere in the ether, like every single app on my phone, or the constant spiral of doom that is our 24-hour news cycle. So many things want so much of us. I read this piece by the Unitarian Universalist Reverend Gary Kowalski and found a bit of instruction here, some guidance on how to pause and enjoy the immediacy and peace of our one beautiful time on this earth. As someone who is also uncomfortable with prayer and not sure about what I even believe any of us are praying to, I appreciate Reverend Kowalski's ideas on how I might find a way to practice my own kind of devotion through my attention. I will read it for you now in hopes you find it helpful. Listening with the heart. Maybe prayer doesn't mean talking to God at all. Maybe it means just listening. Unplugging the TV, turning off the computer, quieting the mental chatter and distractions. Maybe it means listening to the birds and the insects, the winds in the leaves, the creaking and groaning of the trees. Noticing. Who else is out there? Not far away, but nearby. Sitting so still we can hear our heartbeat. Watch our breath, the gentle whoosh of air, the funny noises from our own insides. Marveling at the body we take so much for granted. Maybe it means listening to our dreams, paying more attention to what we really want from life, and less attention to all the nagging, scolding voices from our past. Or maybe it's all about listening to each other, not thinking ahead to how we can answer, or rebut, or parry, or advise, or admonish, but actually being present to each other. Perhaps if we just sit quietly, we'll overhear a peace whispering through the centuries that's missing from the clamor of the moment. Maybe prayer means listening to the silences between the words, noticing the negativity of space, the vast, undifferentiated, and nameless wonder that underlies it all. Maybe prayer doesn't mean talking to God at all, but listening with the heart to the angel choirs all around us, To those who have ears, let them hear.
I'm listening. I am listening. Spirit, speak to me. I'm listening. I am listening. Spirit, speak to me. My ears are wide open. My eyes are now open to see what I may be. I'm listening. I am listening. Spirit, speak to me. I'm listening. I am listening. In this moment of Spirit, speak through me. I can hear the voices of all my kind. I'm listening, singing. I am listening, tweeting and howling into the wind. My ears are wide open, and oh, the joy. My eyes are wide open, oh, the love to see and hear for you and me. Oh, I'm listening in this moment of silence. I am listening. I hear Spirit speak through me.
Thank you again, Leah Morris. That was beautiful. Over the summer this year, a local Milwaukee woman named Carrie Grote shared her thoughts about dying from brain cancer with a circle of her friends. When she was first diagnosed with brain cancer, she wrote, "I looked around my life and I came up sputtering and sobbing from the wave of grief that washed over me. I thought that I would be doing this alone. No husband, no kids, no great love." But as she embarked on her journey with cancer, Carrie found she was absolutely surrounded by love every step of the way. She wrote that society's focus on having one great love in your life as a romantic partner can divert your attention away from the many non-romantic great loves already in your life. Because she hadn't followed the prescribed version of love, no husband, no kids, Carrie thought she would be alone in the scary, difficult world of cancer treatment. How wrong I was, Carrie wrote. At the first appointment with my neuro-oncologists, one of the nurses diligently hauled in chair after chair for the great loves of my life who came with me on that horrible day and many days after that. I sat and I listened while the doctor explained the 12-month treatment plan, focusing on my breathing, and then I looked up and I looked around the room filled with great loves of my life, incredible friends from all the different stages of my life. Where is your attention these days? Are you following some pre-scripted story of how life is supposed to be, or longing for a story you've been told that your life should resemble. If your attention is on what should be happening according to some preset script, you might be missing what is right now. Where is the love that exists in your life right now? It could be in the form of people or pets or ancestors. It could be from a newly forming love of self or from the love of people who have already passed on. It could be the deep ground of being, the love of the universe, or a love that is on its way to you right now. Who would sit with you in the chairs of your metaphorical doctor's office? What love can you pay attention to and honor in your life right now? We're at a time of year when many people set resolutions for the coming year, goals they want to attain or changes they want to make in their lives. Our congregation's January theme is living with intention. All our worship services and our small group ministries and our communications are considering what it means to live with intention. In Buddhism, setting intentions is different than setting goals. While many New Year's Eve resolutions conflate the two, Buddhism actually separates them. Goals are future focused and based on outcomes. They're things that we want to create in our lives, finding a partner, or being able to lift 100 pounds, or maybe just even flossing regularly. Intentions, on the other hand, are focused on how you are being in the present moment. The work of intention setting, then, is to go deep within and understand what matters to you most, your deepest values, and then setting your intention to be in the present moment in alignment with those values. So for instance, the inherent worth and dignity of every human being, our Unitarian Universalist first principle, matters deeply to me. I hold it as a core value. But am I living it in my being, in my everyday life? In every moment, am I living in alignment with it? In my intention to live this value, I can ask myself if my interactions every day in the moment with the people I love are honoring their inherent worth. Is the right now of my being in relationship honoring both their worth and my own? That's a core question for me. But the practice of alignment also resonates out through my interactions with other people, with coworkers and store clerks and people on the street, with thinking about ethical business practices and on, rippling out through my life. Intention is a compass for how I can live in alignment with my core values. In today's world, there is so very much, as our worship associate Susie Seidelman said, competing for our attention. Advertisements are saturating us, telling us what to buy so we look or sound or behave like we should. In their 2001 book, The Attention Economy, Understanding the New Currency of Business, Thomas Davenport and John Beck argue that with so much information out there and a finite human capacity to process it, attention is the most important resource to harness. And that was 20 years ago. The pulls on our attention have exponentially increased since then. Those little handheld smartphones offer access to any content anywhere right now. And people are flipping over themselves, sometimes literally, to command our attention and often to profit from it. Those seeking our attention for profit are not acting in our best interest. They are by definition seeking our attention to profit. Some of them are harnessing our attention through deliberately harnessing our stress response systems, deliberately tapping into the things that make us tense: anger, shame, insecurity. They convince us that we're not good enough in order to sell us a product, or they get us angry or scared in order to sell us their version of a news story. Our deepest intentions veer off course while the tensions in our bodies raise. Others capture our attention with humor or good storytelling. It's so easy to fritter away minutes or hours enjoying the pleasure of a powerfully crafted story or a fuzzy animal video or a good punchline. Laughter is good. Endorphins are good. They feel good. But if attention is a limited resource, are we spending the balance of it where we want to be? Presumably, we do want to spend some of our attention on pleasure, on laughter, on story. If we're being really intentional about our attention, however, we might allocate even more of it to love, relationship, community, health, spirituality. Intention to my attention and attention to my intentions helps me live my life as I want to be living it, rather than letting someone else's profit motive steer my fear or my laughter. I want to steer my brain by being intentional. In addition to changing how we are living right now, aligning and realigning our attention with our intentions often leads to more successful outcomes, those future-focused goals of New Year's Eve resolutions. Studies have shown that the best way to make changes in our lives is through changing our habits. The best way to achieve an outcome is to change the daily processes that lead to that outcome. Being now creates the future because the nowness accumulates over time into the future goal we're seeking. I like being in alignment with my values. I like living my ethics and I like achieving my goals. But what I really want in this life, what I crave and what I long for, is to feel more alive right now. I want the juice of life, the breath of life, the electric aliveness of life that exists nowhere but the present. Wonder and awe are right here, right now, not in some planned for future goal setting exercise, but right here in these bodies, in these brains, in this breath, right now. Now is also where change lives. In every now, there's an opportunity to renew, to realign, to change. If I've been out of alignment with my values, I can return to alignment right now. There's no such thing as perfect alignment, perfectly living in intention, because we're human. But there is a new opportunity in every single moment to realign and live our intentions right now. This moment is the one that we're living in. It's also the one where the opportunity to choose again how we want to live exists. Intention. It swings on the hinge between ethics and aliveness. All ethics can creep into the tight curl of control. Do it right, do it right, do it right. In all ethics, attention rests on doing and rightness rather than presence and aliveness. All aliveness, on the other hand, with no ethics, can veer into hedonism, just pleasure without concern for universal worth and collective living. Intention brings aliveness now, together with the ethics of living in the inherent worth of all beings. It's a tricky balance, this swinging hinge between ethics and aliveness, but that's why we come together to practice, right? Love can make swinging that hinge a little easier. Love feels good. It feels alive in the present moment, and it also motivates us to do the right thing. But you have to pay attention to where love is living right now in order to truly honor it as it exists. Carrie Grote finally experienced and honored love as it was in her life by honoring the great many loves of her life who showed up for her during her cancer treatment. She looked up. She looked around. She looked up from that doctor's explanation of the 12-month treatment plan, looked up from her fear that she would be alone in it, looked up from the expectation of a romantic partner love, and saw love as it was shining all around her in the friends who held her throughout her life, the friends who held her life. Love was present in the moment of pain. It was different than expectations, but it was there holding her in that moment. What are you paying attention to these days? If, as the poet Mary Oliver claims, attention is the beginning of devotion, is your attention focused on that to which you want to devote your life? About a month before she died, Carrie prepared to leave her body and, as she put it, embark on the mysterious journey of her soul. And she wrote these words to share with her people. Carrie wrote, "What I know deep in my bones is that learning to love myself has led me to be able to say this. I'm so proud of how I lived." May you, dear reader, feel the same when you head out on your soul journey too. Until then, enjoy the ride. My dear ones, if your attention has strayed away from that which matters to you most, take a moment, return it right now to what is most important. Pay attention to the love around you, wherever it is, in whatever form it manifests, including love for your dear, beautiful self. Live in alignment with your values, aliveness and ethics combined, love as a feeling and as an action. Be present right now, loving right now, realigning right now, so that when your time comes, you too will say, I was so proud of how I lived. May it be so, and amen. It has been a blessing to be together. May you go out from here nourished and renewed, and use that to choose to bless the world. Until we meet again, may you be held, may you be healed, may you be whole. Blessed be, and amen.
We are going, heaven knows where we are going. We know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Whoa, yeah, yeah. Whoa, yeah, yeah. Whoa, yeah, yeah. Whoa, yeah, yeah. Whoa, yeah, yeah.